Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Happy Saturday, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome aboard, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video, put your notifications on, all that jazz, guys. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys, on this Saturday, where it's a little bit of a relaxing day because United are not playing. Well, we're getting a bit bored now, ain't we? It's been a long time since United played. It seems like a year since United played West Ham. Goodness me. And you know what? That West Ham game is still itching at me. It's still irritating me. I just want to move on from that West Ham game and get this Everton game going on and just win this Everton game and just move on, guys, and move onwards and upwards in that Premier League table, of course, because that's what it's all about, moving onwards and upwards. Who knows where we could finish this season? Nobody really knows, to be honest with you. Everyone is taking points from everyone, and I think it's important that Man United just go out there and start winning their games, guys. But it is Premier League weekend. Premier League is back. Real football is back. There was some competition on last week. I don't know what it's called, the FA Cup. Never heard of it. Anyway, guys, the Premier League is back this weekend. I will be doing a lot of watch-alongs. I will have a busy day, busy Sal today, guys. I will have a busy day. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Now, guys, let's get into Manchester United news. Who is really safe at Manchester United? Who will be leaving through the back door or the front door? Who knows, guys? Whatever you like. Manchester United, of course, we've heard it all before in regards to a rebuild, in regards to players coming in, players leaving Man United. But this time, could it be real? Could this rebuild be real? Could a number of players be leaving Manchester United in the summer with players replacing them? Now, of course, I want to pick the bones about that. There are a couple of players, 3, 4, 5 players that we know are leaving already. That is a given, right? So you start off there. You start off at 5, and then you go on from there. But let me first get into some transfer news surrounding Manchester United. Okay. Now, Manchester United are looking to bolster their defensive options. Now, I'm one of those people who don't necessarily think Man United need to concentrate too much on the defense. However, having lost Varane, Lindelof, and probably Maguire in the summer, Manchester United in 1 year have lost 3 main starters in their team. Now, Man United are currently looking at a couple of defenders, notably one in Bundesliga. One in Bundesliga's name is Edmund Top-Sober. Edmund Top-Sober is a 27-year-old centre-back. He's valued at around 60 million euros. Quite a lot of money, but he is a very talented, experienced centre-back, also being scouted by Liverpool. Now, there are some comparisons with Edmund Top-Sober and Jaap Stam. They say he's powerful, he's domineering, he can get up from corners, he can score corners and stuff like that. Of course, according to various reports, Liverpool and Man United are interested in Bayer Leverkusen centre-back Edmund Top-Sober, but face competition from PSG. Real Madrid are also monitoring the situation. So, Top-Sober, I mean, he's a good player. He's a good player. But I'm looking at Man United right now, and I'm thinking, like, Man United got Licha, Hayden Heaven, Euro, De Ligt, they got Fredrickson, Kolungi coming from the ranks as well. So what are Man United actually doing here? Should we be concentrating on a defender right now? And in my opinion, is probably the last thing we need to do right now. If we're going to concentrate on anything defensively, it's the CDM and the fullbacks. I think that's what Man United need at the moment, rather than looking at defenders. I keep seeing us into defenders. Now, that's not to say that Edmund Top-Sober is not a fantastic defender, but it's not something that we need directly. And that moves us swiftly on to the Newcastle player, guys. So, look. I don't want to talk too much about, what is unrealistic, what isn't. But what I would say is that signing players from Newcastle at the moment seems to be the thing. It seems to be the thing. The Newcastle are not going to qualify for the Champions League this season. So obviously it's going to be one of them ones where Newcastle may have to sell a few of their players. Now, one of their players is Malik Dior. Used to play for AC Milan. You remember him currently playing centre-back for Newcastle United. Now, the guy apparently is available if Newcastle United don't qualify for the Champions League. This is very, very important. Now, he is a bit cheaper than Top-Sober. He's 40 million euros, not pounds, euros. Centre-back, 5 caps for Germany. Very good player, experienced. Now, but the key about Malik Thor is that Malik Thor can play as a defensive midfielder as well. He can fill in that void in midfield. So this is very important. players that can play a number of positions. Now, given Manchester United have got a little in the summer window, we've got the World Cup coming on, of course, guys. We got Jim Ratcliffe and his political career and things like that, of course. But what I would say is this: we've got now literally a few weeks to win. Man United 9 players, defensive midfielder, can play midfield, etc. It's a smart move. It is a smart move. However, why don't they just go after an Anderson? Why don't they just concentrate and put their eggs in that? Because at the end of the day, we don't want makeshift players. And this is, again, shoehorning FC. We've been down this road before, guys. We've been down this road in regards to shoehorning FC before. We remember the shoehorning FC syndrome that we used to do, where we shoehorn players into positions and stuff like that. That's what we're doing, you know. And I just feel like Man United need to be a specialist in the correct areas. Midfield, defense, fullback. And I think that's what Man United need to do at the moment. Now, in regards to the midfield, and talking about the midfield, there's a name that, you know what, people are going to go, my goodness me, no chance at all. Well, Eduard Kamavinga. Now, there are rumours circulating that Manchester United have inquired about the availability of Eduard Kamavinga. Now, Kamavinga, of course, is a fabulous player playing for Real Madrid, valued at around 80 million euros. It's not exactly like an amazing amount of money, guys, but Spanish reports are claiming that Manchester United identified Eduard Kamavinga as one of their top priorities to replace Casemiro. The report states that Real Madrid are willing to sell Kamavinga for at least 75 million euros because he's not developed as was expected of him. The report adds that Madrid are aware Kamavinga is an extremely valuable player and will have many interests this summer. Now, guys, when we're thinking about Kamavinga, there was talk from Kamavinga saying that he's being played out of position. He did say he's been played out of position, and his proper position is a number 6. He's a proper number 6. And apparently Real Madrid are using him in different positions that he's not comfortable with. And he did openly say this last week. Now, does this mean he's going to come to Manchester United? Does this mean that Kamavinga is going to be like Man United? Probably not, no. But we are linked to him, and I think that would be a brilliant replacement for Casemiro. It'd be a magnificent replacement for Casemiro. Of course it would. A world-class player like Kamavinga absolutely would. It would be a brilliant replacement for him. It's going to be expensive. Now, the bidding starts at 80. You know, the bidding starts at 80. We have to understand it. So if Kamavinga is made available for a transfer, you bet your bottom dollar that other teams in Europe are going to be going after Kamavinga as well. That's why it's so important that Man United qualify for the Champions League. I think we will qualify for the Champions League. And fingers crossed, we will have a big summer. We will sign players like Kamavinga. But what would we do, guys? Would we like Anderson, Wharton, Baleba, Stiller, or would we like Kamavinga? My opinion would be this. Sign Anderson, 60, 65. If Nottingham Forest get relegated, it might be even less than that. And then sign Angelo Stiller. You know, that's what I would do. Because you could probably get those two for the price of Kamavinga. And that's, we have to think like that. And we have to think smartly. We can't just sign Kamavinga, 80 million, slap it down, and that's it. We don't sign any more midfielders. We need 3 or 4 midfielders, guys. You know, when you're thinking about it, there is rumors that Ugarte is going to leave. There is rumors that there's no rumors that Casemiro is going to leave. He's leaving, you know, and we need these players replaced plus more because we're going to be left with Kobe Mainoo only. Now, when you're thinking about the players that are leaving the club, and I've already said this in regards to Anthony, Sancho, Rasmus, Casemiro, probably Mason Mount, Ugarte, off the cuff, guys, you know, off the cuff, probably Maguire. Onana, buy in there. You know, already I'm speaking about 9 players here. Already you're looking at 9 players. And that's not to say other players won't leave as well. So we're already in 9 players less, guys. Do you know what I mean? Within a year. And we've already lost Varane and Lindelof. Let's not forget that. In 1 year, we've lost 10 players, guys. And how many have we brought in? 4. We haven't brought in enough players, guys. So Man United, especially if we qualify for the Champions League, and everyone has a right to be concerned about our squad, because at the end of the day, we could say, oh, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Nah, we're not going to have Casemiro next season, guys. This is very important. We're not going to have Casemiro next season. Casemiro won't be playing for Man United next season. So we have to obviously ensure that we replace these players, and not only replace them, we get backup options as well. You know, you don't have to go out there and buy a 70, 80 million pound players. You can get a Keith Schmidt, you can get you can get Bawardi, you can get a Said El Mala, you can get these type of players who are going to be a little bit cheaper, younger, and can act as understudies as well. That's what we can do, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up this community. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I hope everyone is blessed, of course, guys. Big up everyone in the stream, guys. Big up Man UFC now. What's going on, you legend? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you again. Happy Saturday, Reds. Hoping for some positive info in the midfield mess. Hoping for 3 players in one to replace Casemiro, 1 to replace Ugarte, and 1 world-class top shelf player if Bruno goes. Now, the situation with Bruno is very, very complicated because Bruno hasn't made up his mind, which obviously isn't good, you know, in regards to Man United. I do believe that if Manchester United qualify for the Champions League, it looks likely we're going to qualify for the Champions League. I do think we will. We've only got, 12 games left. I think Man United will qualify for the Champions League. But if Man United don't qualify for the Champions League, Bruno will leave. That's my prediction. It's not the gospel, but that's what I think. I think Bruno will leave if Manchester United don't qualify for the Champions League. If we qualify for the Champions League, I firmly believe that Bruno will stay. You're absolutely right. Man United need at least 3 midfielders in there. 3 minimum, guys. Because at the end of the day, when you're thinking about it, we got Manu. Yeah, I think 3 would be enough. I mean, if we get 3, that'll be 4 midfielders to fit into a 2 midfield. So, I mean, if it is Carrick, of course, unless we get another manager who plays 3 in the midfield. But it's going to be 2 in the midfield. So I think 4 from 2, 2 from 4 is good. So we get 3 in, that's good. We've already got Manu. We get a Baleba, we get a Wharton, or we get an Anderson. At the moment, Baleba's looking a little bit precarious. Baleba doesn't look like really good. Doesn't look good, bruv. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but we'll have to wait and see. Big up Donan, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my guy. Big up Ephraim, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Sanjay, good morning. How you doing? Hope you're doing well as well, my friend. Good to see you. Ephraim again, good to see you. Big up Sal, great show on Mo channel yesterday. Thank you so much, Ephraim, representing the cause, of course, Manchester United, of course, guys. Big up Mo and big up all them, of course, absolutely. Big up Max, what's going on? Big up Sal, big up my friend. Hope you're doing well. 3 more days, Tuesday morning in Sydney. Tuesday for me as well, midnight on Monday morning / Tuesday morning is the game kickoff. We have to wait longer than everyone else because the creme de la creme of Premier League football, Manchester United play last, don't they? We have to play last. To save the best till last, don't they? At the end of the day, if you're playing on Friday, you got a problem. That's what I would say. But Man United playing on Monday / Tuesday for me, yeah, we have to wait longer than everyone else. But what does that say? I mean, by the time that's happened, we would already know the results. We would already know where we stand. And hopefully Liverpool drop some points. Nottingham Forest, though, have just come back from the Europa League from Turkey. Fantastic result in Fenerbahce, of course, 3-0. So I think they're going to beat Nottingham Forest because I think Nottingham Forest will be tired. I do believe that. And when I'm looking at Arsenal and Tottenham, I think Tottenham are going to do them. I've got this feeling that Tottenham are going to win that game 2-1. I do. I think Tottenham will have a new manager bounce, and then they'll win that game, and Arsenal will be in massive trouble after that. Absolutely. Man City will beat Crystal Palace. I don't think Crystal Palace are any good at the moment. But I will be doing my match preview, guys. Don't forget. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Christian. Morning, Stretford family. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well here and a great weekend. So I told you about defense. We do need at least one experience if we get injuries and go deep in competitions. We don't. We've got experience. If we keep Maguire, we got experience. We don't need experience, mate. We don't. This is a waste of money. Man United don't necessarily experience like we got talent. We got Euro. We got Aiden Heaven. We got De Ligt. We got Leacher. We got Mazraoui. Are they not experienced? 5 out of 2. 5 defenders out of 2. So it'd be foolish to think that we need another spend 65 million on defender. Absolutely not. Need a minimum of 6 in, more squad rebuilding. Absolutely, I agree with that. Big up, Rajat. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Rajat. Hope you're well, my friend. Hope you're good. Don't like Man City fan, bro. Get annoyed when they come on YouTube page. Big up, my friend. Don't worry about Man City, my friend. Don't worry about them. They're just lonely because they got no fans anywhere. It's hard to find a Man City. I mean, I've looked under every rock and every stone, everywhere I've looked for a Man City fan here in Abu Dhabi. I can't find one. Big up, Sam. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. We are linked with Kamavinga like ages ago. Yes, we were. Who wouldn't be? He's a great player, of course. Donin, Need deals early. Window opens 15th of June. World Cup starts 9th of June. Yeah, but we know that, don't we? We've been banging on about it for a long time now about what we need in regards to the window. Yeah, we need to act quickly. This is why we should have utilized the January transfer window effectively to get some deals done in principle. For example, getting a gentleman's agreement and something like that done, so we don't have to do the groundwork in the summer. Now, remember that players will be leaving for the World Cup 2-3 weeks before the World Cup, and they'll be coming back 3 weeks after the World Cup. Now, it's highly likely that the likes of Anderson, Wharton, and other players who play for big nations will be coming back from the World Cup late. So at the end of the day, we won't have much time to maneuver. Added to the fact that we've got the managerial problem going on, if Carrick gets the job, it should be straightforward, sign a signature, done. If he doesn't get the job, then we're going to spend the whole bloody summer looking at a manager and stuff like that at the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up, Daviano. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you, of course. Morning, family, Cape Town. Big up, Cape Town. How you doing, my friends and family over there? Big up yourselves. Hope you're good. And Barada are not world class. Look, Wilcox and Barada are not world class. Look at the decisions they made over the years. Personally, I would replace them because they don't have our DNA. I don't know what that means, but you know what I mean. But I just don't think they're good enough for the job. The Man United DNA, I don't think many fans know what the DNA is, to be honest with you. I would like to ask you what Man United DNA is. And I know it, right? I know it. And tell me what it is, Daviano. Big up, Daviano. Raja, Raul don't sell maybe when Kamavinga will be 32, 33. Kamavinga is not happy with his position in the team. That's what is happening at the moment. So you never know. Sam, Kamavinga is an injury-prone player. We don't need another injury-prone player. We should be signing players. Elliot Anderson, Stiller. I'm not sure if it's an injury-prone player. Let me check his injury record. Kamavinga injury record. Let me check it. Okay. So this season, Kamavinga has had a couple of injuries. So he was out for 12 days in December. He missed 3 games. He had an ankle injury, 37 days. So he's been out for 49 days this season. He missed 6 games. He's got a ankle problem and he's got a hamstring problem. It's a good point. We shouldn't be signing players if they're injury prone. We shouldn't be signing players if they're injury prone. But, you know, so he's had 2 injuries this season, 2 ankle problems. The key is that he's had 2 ankle problems, but the other 2 were hamstring problems. So they're not the same problem. So there is a history of ankle problems. There was one in 23-24. There was an ankle problem, and there was 25-26 and two ankle problems this season. So yeah, we have to look at that, and we have to look at that obviously smartly and obviously maturely. I agree with you there, my friend. Absolutely. Hopefully we do our research. Absolutely. Big up, my friend Marcus. How you doing? Morning. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well, guys. Absolutely good to see you. Good to see you. Christian, Kamavinga had his chance. I would go for Stiller and Wharton. I'll give them a youth chance. You said I think Anderson and Stiller for me. It would be great. Anderson's better than Wharton. Our Carrick is looking at them, is going to youth games. So did Ruben Amorim go to youth games. Everyone's been going to youth games. They're not good enough at the moment. Raja, will Rodrigo Mora be more copies Bruno output level if he joins Manchester United? Will Rodrigo Mora be able to copies Bruno's output level? Rodrigo Mora is a very young player, plays for Porto. It's going to be very difficult for Rodrigo Mora to implement Bruno Fernandes. It's a lot of pressure on the young lad. He's got a long time to go. You know, at the end of the day, I would say he's a very good young prospect. To put the pressure on him in regards to Bruno Fernandes, that's a big pressure. However, it's not to say he won't get there in the future. Of course, he may do. He's a good player. I'm sure other clubs would be interested in him as well, but I don't think he's anywhere near the Bruno guys. Absolutely. Bruno will stay if Carrick stays as permanent manager. Christian, in your opinion, always add in your opinion, Christian. You're having a stinker today, Christian. What's going on? Commons, big up, Kenny. absolutely. Bruno, I've heard Bruno doesn't want another project, and if we qualify for the Champions League, he'll stay. If we don't, he'll go. Sam, Mason Mount, Ugarte, Xerxes should go. Any players that are not adding to the improvement of the team should go, and bring in players who can impact the team positively. The problem is, though, Sam, how much time do we have, and how much belief do we have in this system? How much belief do we have in Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers and that? We could say these things, these sound bites, these sensational things. We need to get rid of him. Right, what we need to look at is the facts. Anthony's leaving, left already. Rashford's leaving. Sancho's leaving. Rasmus is leaving. Mount is leaving. Onana is leaving. So those things, no, Mount, let's say Mount's not left. That's not a fact. So 5 are going off the cuff at the moment. Yes, we do need to offload Xerxes, and we do need to get rid of these kind of players, Ugarte and stuff like that. But do you trust this ball to do that? Now, I guarantee you guys, that come this time at the end of the summer, should I say, we're going to be very disappointed. I guarantee you. I don't think we're going to be like, wow, we smashed that summer. Congratulations to Ineos. They absolutely smashed it this summer. They were absolutely brilliant. I can't see that happening. I can see Man United bringing in 4 or 5 players. I could see Man United losing 7 or 8 players. And then you're going to be like, wow, you know, we got a very, very small squad here. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how much quality you got in your first team, but you need a squad as well. And we're not going to have the numbers. Absolutely. Sal, do you rate Christopher Vell as a sporting director? As a one-dimensional sporting director who looks at the Red Bull only. He's good at Red Bull. He's good at Red Bull Leipzig, Salzburg, wherever you want. He's good at them. But in regards to the whole scope of world football, I don't think he's proven in regards to that. I think he's very good at players he knows, if you know what I mean. And we're always looking at players he knows. Who's debatedly the best player with Wharton? Note Aguri ex Crystal Palace. Who's debatedly Crystal Palace best player with Wharton? Gay, yeah. I think Mateta is not a bad player, not a bad shout, Rajat. He's a good player. Donin, not convinced with Wharton. Anderson looking to go City, Stiller, Tonali, or Onana in midfield. We'll have to wait and see with Anderson. It depends if Man United qualify for the Champions League. But it's not over yet. He's not at Man City yet. So we'll have to wait and see. United should concentrate on improving the midfield. Very important. Then other positions can follow, like left winger and experienced striker. I agree with that, Sam. Absolutely. Big up LT. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up Sal. The Premier League has taken the piss with regards to our fixtures this season because we've had the most Monday night football and them creating a lunchtime game on Sunday just for us, which is just bullshit. I agree with LT here because at the end of the day, we played a late game at West Ham. I didn't want to play a late game at West Ham as well. Under the lights, it's always more difficult, as we know. It's not an excuse, but it is always more difficult when you're playing under the lights, you know, and I agree. And we seem to be rarely playing on the Saturday. Rarely playing Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. And it is annoying me as well. Absolutely. And we ain't played all week. We ain't played for 2 weeks. So why are we waiting even longer to play? It just doesn't make any sense. Manchester United DNA to me means you should be someone who is deeply rooted in our history. Man United what is DNA? DNA means history. That is our historical, yeah. But what is it in particular? What do you think it is? That is what the meaning of DNA is. What is Manchester United's DNA? What is it? Because many fans don't know this. Many fans talk about DNA, but they don't really know about DNA. They don't know about Man United's DNA. I want you to tell me what Man United DNA is. There's Google there. You can look. But I tell you, look, I'm only joking. Diviano, Man United's DNA, right? Now, everyone talks about Man United's DNA. We always bring through youth players. We always do this. We do that. That's a myth. Man United brought through youth players in 1958 because we were forced to bring through youth players in 1958. Between the late 60s and the class of 92, Man United only brought through 14 young players. So all this, we always played youngsters is a myth, by the way. We only started in the class of 92, and in between that, we didn't really have it. And a lot of players did come through. That's not wrong. But in regards to the youth players, I would say that a lot of them fell on the wayside because the pressure was too much. And of course, Man United got relegated in 1974. My DNA, my idea of DNA and what I was raised upon in regards to DNA is never give in. Never give in, never give up, always fight for that badge. That's what Man United's DNA is for me. That is what it is. No, we haven't always played an amazing brand of football. We haven't, guys. But winning is our DNA. And also, never giving up is our DNA, because we were known for that. We came from the 58 disaster to winning the Champions League 10 years later, 5 years later, we won the Premier League. That is Man United's DNA. You know, not just history, because that's what DNA means. DNA is in your blood, in your historical bloodline. That's what it means, basically, you know? So, but what is it in particular? And that, for me, is it. My friend, big up, that one's for free, guys. Come on, I'm giving you, like, you know what I mean? Big up, everyone. Big up, Gregory. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Smash the like and subscribe. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. I watched the other night, Celtic versus Stuttgart, to have a look at Stiller for the first time. It's your first time watching him. Welcome. Decent performance, but the player who caught my eye was Kunis, who bagged the praise. Mentioned on this show as well, Kunis, by the way. Again, you can't get past us, can you? Absolutely. He is currently on loan from Leicester. Yeah, we were interested in him as well. Remember? Big up, but good morning, Revert 7. Big up yourself. Gregory, United need 10 players brought in, not 4 or 5, absolutely, this summer. It's not just starters who needed, it's squad depth as well. Yeah, Gregory, absolutely. I agree with this. Is it going to happen, though? You know, it's very unlikely, isn't it? We know we need at least 10 players, you know, but I think it's very unlikely that it's going to happen. I'll be amazed. You know what I mean? 21-year-old Moroccan player can play both wings. I know him, Revert 7. I mentioned him on the show before, Revert 7. You got to watch Stretford Post a little bit more, Revert 7. You might get on with it. Reed Raja, Christopher Ravel, great links with right back Salzburg and Leipzig. That's why he advocated on Sesko join Man United. Absolutely. United, and probably explaining potential of Galsman link to Man United. Absolutely. He's a Red Bull Salzburg and Leipzig man. Anything about Red Bull, he's your guy. That's what it is at the end of the day. You know, don't be surprised if Man United is sponsored by Red Bull sometimes. Red Bull United. No, don't even go there. Don't give them any ideas. Sal, not sure if you caught the press conference of Bayern, which company said the comments in the whole Vinny situation. He especially put Mourinho in his place. Representation matters, that's all. Yeah, but I would like to see them speak the same up about the immigration problem with Jim Ratcliffe and that. That would be brave as well if they spoke up about that as well. Every single discrimination matters. And you know what? It was disgraceful what happened. And it shouldn't be happening this day and age. But we need to look at what's going on around the world as well, you know, which turns a blind eye. You know, Islamophobia going on as well at the moment. So I want to see attack with pace, power, penetration, and predictability. That's Manchester United. Not all the time, but yeah. Will Real sell this youngster, Chema Angeles, who plays with Stiller at FFP, on loan and developing? Good player. Guys, absolutely. Gaz, who knows more about DNA of Man United, Sal Warner or Mark Goldbridge? I don't know. I'm not going to say. Mark Goldbridge has a good knowledge about Man United. He has a good knowledge about Man United, a very good knowledge about Man United. And so do I. We're both the same generation, kind of. So we've seen a lot, and we actually learned a lot back in them days. Sal, the most important aspect of possession is rhythm. What are you on about, Gregory? What are you on about, mate? You're talking to me like I don't know about football, mate. What's going on, Gregory? That said, Celtic got absolutely toshed these days. So it was 5-1, wasn't it? Revert 7. They're not nowhere near the team that they used to be. It is risk-taking, front foot, and very fluid attack foot. That Man United have not always had that, Raja. Incorrect. It's never say die, mate. Never say die. That's what Man United's DNA is. Would be a good signing for Man United. Tremende, yeah, would. Another one. Yeah, another one at Real Madrid. They took all the good players, didn't they? Sir Alex Ferguson said the key was always to make sure we let our players play to their strengths. That's not the DNA, though. But yeah, I get you. Basically, Man United's DNA is never giving in. That's what it is. It's on our motto. You know, that's what it is. You know, and never say die. And that's basically what it is. We ain't always played attractive, free-flowing, fluid football. I know a lot of you started supporting Man United in 2008. We haven't. You know, we played effective football. We played football that worked. We played quick football on the wings and stuff like that, and we created chances and we pressed. That's true. We were relentless sometimes, but we weren't always that way. Sometimes we would find a way to win, and that's one thing about Man United. They found a way to win at times. You know, we weren't always this magnificent, free-flowing football team. It's not true. You know, in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, we weren't. Right? Even, you know, we played effective football and football to win. You know, and that was it at the end of the day. When you look at Alex Ferguson, for example, in 2013, his last season, we played some awful stuff, but we got results. And that's what it was. And that's ultimately what it was at the end of the day. Was 1994 my favorite team? No, 1999 was my favorite team. 1994, I was the most disappointed with because obviously the Champions League regulations back then, we couldn't play the 1994 team in the Champions League. If those who know, back in those days, you had to have a certain quota of homegrown players in your team. So we couldn't play our best team in the Champions League in 1994. So it's so disappointing. I actually feel that team in 1994 would have won the Champions League. I actually feel like that. You know, but sadly, we couldn't play every single player. So we had to leave out a Schmeichel or a Cantona. Ireland as well, Keane and Irwin. We used to have to rotate. But looking back at that time, I look at that time and I think, you know what? Maybe that did us some good. Maybe that did us well because we were forced to play young players, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, and Gary Neville and players like that. So it was also a good thing, a blessing in disguise. Absolutely. Isn't Carrick trying to overplay football with all the short passes and over possession? No, not really. I think it's too early to tell, Gaz. I would reevaluate him at the end of the season, mate. 5 games is nowhere near enough to have an accurate evaluation of what Carrick is doing. One thing that Carrick is doing, what I've noticed, is that he's persevering with what he has at the moment to win games. And I think that is the most important thing for an interim manager, just win games. I don't think that many interim managers have long-term plans. This is why I don't believe in this. All of a sudden, miraculously, this team is going to become good and stuff like that. I don't believe we interim managers have long-term plans, but winning effective football at the moment. I was disappointed with the West Ham game. I'll be honest with you. I was disappointed with the Fulham game. We were lucky. We were lucky against Arsenal. 2 worldies and a mistake from Arsenal, but that's football, you know. And I do think there's a lot of room for improvement. But I'm looking at everything objectively. I'm not looking at things in a giddy, overly zealous kind of way. I'm looking at things on a critical kind of way because I know I've seen this before, you know. And we had a mini setback against West Ham. It was a mini adversity, not a big one, but a mini one. So I'm very interested to see how we bounce back against a difficult game against Everton with Grealish and Ndiaye and these players. It's going to be a difficult game against Everton. So I'm interested to see what we do. Absolutely. I love the 1992-94. It was beautiful, my friend. Absolutely. Carlo Ancelotti got the new deal with Brazilian team. He ruled out being permanent coach. Yep. How much could Keenan Yildiz cost after signing a new contract? Probably about 100 million, mate. 120 million. Around that price. Doesn't mean that he won't leave, but that's how much it probably costs. Big up Left Up. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well, but he will cost about that much. One of my favorite players, by the way. But just because they sign a new contract doesn't mean they're not going to go anywhere. Let me just say that right now. There could be stipulations in that contract. Champions League qualification, trophy winning stipulations, things like that. A club stipulation. Maybe he wants to go to a certain club. That sort of thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes as well, teams sign new contracts because they want a bigger fee for them, you know? Sal, Carrick result, manager bounce or real improvement? Time will tell, Ephraim. We've been here before, PTSD FC. We've been here with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Let's not forget Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won 8 games in a row. You know, 8 games in a row. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And where did we go? We lost 1 game and then suddenly we went straight down. Suddenly we went all the way down. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, and this is what I'm wary of. I'm very interested to see, because we did suffer a little bit of adversity against West Ham. I'm very interested to see how Man United bounce back from that adversity. I'm interested to see that. I want to see what happens. It is a difficult game against Everton, no doubt about it. Whether Grealish plays or he doesn't play, it's a difficult game. Everton has always been a difficult game. However, we're not playing at Goodison Park anymore. Goodison Park is a difficult place to go. The new stadium, Dickinson, the first time we've gone to that stadium in our history. Let's hope we win there for the first time, guys. And let's hope we do that. It's going to be a difficult game. Everton will be up for it. This is why I didn't like the game being played underneath the lights. I know it, some people might say it's a little bit of an excuse and da. No, it's just that it's harder to play in that sort of atmosphere. You know what I mean? It's better to play on a 3 o'clock on a Saturday than it is on a Monday night, in my opinion. And this is absolutely right. What the comment said earlier, my guy said earlier, you know, it does depend on, what do I say? The time you play in games, it's difficult. The West Ham game was made more difficult because we played at night. It's not an excuse. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but you know, it is harder in my opinion. Like playing under the lights of Old Trafford. You know what I mean? It's like that. Gregory, other Premier League clubs would come into Old Trafford and play scared for the first 30 minutes as though the spotlight was too big and bright for them. There was fear palpable and often justified. It was fear, yeah. That comes with success, though. Fear comes from success. Lack of success brings anxiety. Every single team that wins brings an element of fear. When you're winning, when a club is winning all the time, it's very difficult for the opposition team, no matter who the team is, Barcelona, whether it's Real Madrid, Arsenal, Chelsea. When they're at their heyday, you always have that mental block. But the thing with Man United were just, we weren't like this amazing, we were an amazing team, don't get me wrong. We weren't necessarily the best players, don't get me, like guys, we were just a unit, a team. And the thing is, we were an animal on that pitch, you know, and I feel like we just squashed teams before they even walked on the pitch. That only happened for a period of time. Of course, only a few times in my career, in my life, watching Man United, we've actually been that scary, which was 2008, 1999, around the 90s, around 2008, probably ended around 2012, in my opinion. But yeah, it was a good time. Revert 7, apart from 2003, I generally hated Goodison Park. The atmosphere was always loud. They always gave a good game against us at Goodison Park. Do you remember the fourth? I think they won 4-3 there. They used to win 1-0, even our heyday, Duncan Ferguson and things like that. They always had good games against Man United. And the problem with Everton is that they always raise their game against Man United, don't they? They always seem to raise their game against United. And that frustrates me. That is what's annoying for me. Absolutely. And often intimidating for the players. Revert said, yeah. It was intimidating. I found Everton more intimidating. Let's not forget about the 1995 FA Cup final, Revert. You know, I mean, I find Everton one of those teams that, you know what, they're frauds. They're frauds because they play when they want to play against certain teams, and that's what's annoying. Absolutely. Hi, Sal. Stoke v Leicester at home. Lunchtime kickoff in the Championship. Stoke versus Leicester. Big up FCB. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good luck on that one, my friend. I won't be doing a watch along for that. I won't be doing a watch along for that. Absolutely not, guys. Big up, Ragnar. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. What new rule do you think will come in, like VAR, etc.? The offside rule will change. So basically, in future, the offside rule is going to be space between the players, not inches like centimeters. There has to be clear daylight between the players. Clear daylight. So basically, if this is offside before, so if you could look at offside like this, right? If you got offside like this, now it has to be like this. So you have to have a gap in between the player and the bottle. Using a bottle because you know what? It'd probably be Arsenal. Absolutely. For Everton fans, just like West Ham, this is their cup final. Absolutely, Revert 7. Absolutely. Why it's on Sky? Why is it on Sky? I don't know, mate. I don't have Sky. I live in the UAE. Gregory, I never wanted Manchester United to be second to anybody. Only the best would be good enough. Yes, Gregory, you're quoting. Big up, Gregory. I know the quote, Gregory. Absolutely correct. Yes. Man United should never be second to anybody. Absolutely that. And unfortunately, we have not been second to anybody. We've been fifth and sixth to everybody. So hopefully Man United can come second this year. I did predict Man United will come second this year. That's what I predicted. You know. It's not either one, Rajat. Rajat, do you know that Everton play at a new stadium now called the Dickinson Stadium? They don't play at Goodison Park anymore. Man United are playing Everton at the Dickinson Stadium. It's a new stadium, Rajat. It's the first time we're going there. The first time. Hopefully we get a good one. No way are you not watching it. It's on Sky. I don't have Sky, my fella. I told you I live in the UAE. Revert 7. It's away, Raj, at their new stadium. Yeah, Raj. I have something called Todd, which is far better, far cheaper, far better than Sky. over here in the UAE. You get every game in the world for like $20 a month. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, in the UK, they charge you ridiculous amounts of money for football. It's unreal. What they do. Some of the money that I used to pay for football back in the day, man, it was like, it was unbelievable. My goodness me, what they charge people these days, you know, guys, absolutely. So yeah, look, you know, one thing I would say is that I'm looking forward to the game against Everton, because I'm looking forward to going to the new stadium, of course, guys. I'm looking forward to Man United playing there, and I'm looking forward to having a good game, and hopefully we can win there and have good memories there. That would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it, if we manage to do that? And hopefully results go away this weekend, you know, and maybe solidify that top 3 position. You never know, guys. It could happen. I'm doing watch-alongs later on for all the games, guys. Not all of them, apart from the West Ham. I'm doing the 3 games in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. And I'm going to be focusing on, obviously, Aston Villa against Leeds United. Hopefully, Leeds United do us a favour. That it. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. You know what Leeds are like. Leeds have always been like that, haven't they, at the end of the day? Absolutely. My ticket says a good view. Big up FCB. Have fun, my guy. Have fun, my friend. Big up. Do you think Elliot Anderson? I think we will. Left out, you never know. Left out, what I would say is you never know. He hasn't signed for Man City yet. I know a lot of people, he's going to go to Man City. He's going to go. No, I don't have that pessimism. I never have that pessimism until signed, sealed, delivered. I'm hearing conflicting reports. And the thing is that Anderson has to be stopped from going Man City. Let me tell you that right now. This guy is a generational. Did you watch him against Fenerbahce the other night? Man of the match display. And we all know that Turkey's not an easy place to go. Playing Fenerbahce was a very, very good display for Anderson. I was so impressed with him. Everything he does, every new challenge, he just rises up to it. And that's what I like about players. Players who rise up to challenge, you know, at the end of the day. Are you enjoying being a panelist at those Arab channels? Yeah, I love it. John. Big up, John, by the way. Hope you're doing well. I love everyone. I love doing panels any day of the week, no matter where they're from. I love doing panels. I love talking about football, mate. Whether it's on Terry Flewers, whether it's on Don Hassan, whether it's on Judge Mo, whoever it is, I'm happy to do, no matter what club as well. I'm happy to do panels. I'm happy to do it, my friend. Absolutely. Marcus, this Everton game will be a good measure of where the boys are heading at the moment. Will forward, a win will go a long way in deflating the teams chasing us. I agree with Marcus. Love the positivity, my friend. Love it. Samuel, good morning. It would be funny to see Tottenham Hotspur get relegated. They're in trouble, mate. They're in trouble. Let me tell you that right now. They're in trouble. People don't think they're in trouble, but I think they've done I think they've done a masterstroke. I think they will get out of it now because of Tudor. I got a feeling that Tudor's going to do well. A lot of people are underestimating Tudor. I know he hasn't done well, but I think they're going to have that little bit of new manager bounce. I think they're going to take points from Arsenal. If they lose to Arsenal, they got to play Liverpool away as well. Then they're in big trouble, massive trouble. Sad, isn't it, for Tottenham? Raja, no, they don't really keep up with it. Get the £15 for all 22 home games on my season ticket. Big up, my friend. Who's your season ticket again, FCB? Sorry, I've forgotten, my friend. Who is it for? Sal, it's Stoke, isn't it? Sal, do you think Pep will leave if we win the Premier League? No, I can't see him leaving. I think he's going to stay. Every time I've watched Anderson this season, he has been decent. The opposite can be said of Baleba. Unfortunately, I'm not a Baleba anymore. I have to agree with you, Revert 7. I agree with you. I don't often disagree with Revert 7, because, one thing I would say about Baleba, I'm looking at Baleba every single week. I'm watching Baleba every single week in, week out. I'm watching Baleba every week. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Baleba shows me something that I think, yes, that's the guy. What a player. That's what we were talking about last season. And that's what I want from Baleba. But I'm not seeing anything from him, and he's getting hooked after 20 minutes. I watched the game a week ago, and he get hooked after 20 minutes. And I'm like, for goodness sake, what is going on with Carlos Baleba here? At the end of the day. Now, he has come out and spoken for the first time, Carlos Baleba, saying that he hasn't let the Man United links get to him. Well, you could have fooled me, son. You could have fooled me, because at the end of the day, if it isn't Man United, what is it then, Brev? What is it? What's going on then? Because at the end of the day, I'm looking at poor performance after poor performance after poor performance. What's going on there? Raja. Example, when Tonali was at Brescia, everybody was media said he was going to Juve, Inter Milan, but he chose AC Milan. Yeah. You never know. He did well at AC Milan. John, are we at fault supporting a club partly owned by a racist Ratcliffe? I'm not at fault, but others are, John, because I was far away from Ratcliffe as you could possibly imagine. I went on Qatar TV to speak out against Ratcliffe. John, I know you won't know John James Wu, my guy, but yes, I did, and I got hated for it as well. And here we are right now. You know what I mean? I'm right here right now. Proof is in the pudding, isn't it? At the end of the day, Raja, have you ever been to Monch channel, Big Six Bants or no? No, never been invited. At the end of the day, I think I'm too real for that. I will be on there one day, as they say, inshallah, isn't it? They say I will be there in there one day. I almost picked up my water then, fasting. I will be there one day, but I'm happy what I'm doing, guys. You know, it's step by step, isn't it? Step by step, every step of the way. I've had Saeed on the channel. I know Rance. I've met Rance. I met Flex. I met all of them. You know, I met everyone. But you know what? What I'm enjoying the most about this is this community and building this community. That we don't always agree, and sometimes I'm rude. Sometimes I argue. Sometimes I'm this and that. But we have a real conversation. That's the ultimate thing. It's real. It's from the heart. It's not fake. And that is what the most important thing is about this channel. I will always be real with you, you know, but just because we disagree doesn't mean we hate each other and we don't like each other. You know, disagreement's part of life. I've been wrong loads of times in my life, you know, and I've been wrong loads of times about Man United as well. So there you go. FCB, because I'm disabled under 30. Oh, I got you. Sorry, I forgot FCB. Big up yourself. Lefia, who is your top manager target for me, Julian and Gaussman? For me, it's Luis Enrique, but it's obviously opinion based. Will we get them? If Michael Carrick gets in the Champions League, Lefa, will we get a Nagelsmann? Will we get a Tuchel? Will we get a Luis Enrique? Will that happen? That's the biggest question, you know? Absolutely. Won't be mad if they sign Casemiro, but he got be supplemented with Stiller and Wilton, a high type. We're not gonna get all of them, unfortunately. Vicario is Tottenham version of Andre Onana, except when he plays Man United, Samuel, because he seems to have a good game against Man United, Vicario. Those who know, know. Not enough was done or talked about on Ratcliffe comments, like it was the Vinny Jr. incident. Not fair, in my opinion. Yeah, the problem is, right, you know, there's selective racism, right? And what Vinny had to experience, which should never happen in football ever again. And I spoke about it last week about it, and what the Benfica player did, Prestiani is his name, should be banned from football for life. That's what should truly happen, right? There should be a message out there that he should be banned from football for life. No more football for you, son. You know what I mean? Or he should go out there and do community service for 6 months. You know what I mean? But the neglect of what Jim Ratcliffe said and the undertones of the things he said, not only then, but the things he said since he came into the football club, bringing the Manchester back into Manchester United, all that business has discriminatory, divisive undertones. And we have to look at that, you know, and we know what he is. You don't need to teach us about the birds and the bees. You know what I mean? We know what he is. Exactly, LT. Only way I would co-sign signing Balaby's cost 20-40 million. I agree with Marcus here. Yeah, I agree with Marcus here. But they're not going to do that, are they? They're going to ask for 60, 70, isn't it? Which Man United should not do. Should not do. The past is never dead. It's not even the past. Well, when people talk about the past, they say, don't talk about the past. You know, when we talk about the Champions League, right? You make a point here, Gregory, right? When people talk about the Champions League, they go, well, that's the past. Don't talk about past. It's not actually. It's a current fact. Factually, currently, our name is on the Champions League. Currently, right? So it's a current fact. So past don't exist. Exactly that. You got it screwed on, my guy. Man United currently have done this, currently have done that. And that's what we say. Absolutely. See, you think deeply. You think deep on this channel. We really make you think deep, don't we? Absolutely. Ephraim. Sal, it's sad that they do not charge Ratcliffe for what he's saying. Exactly that. It's disgraceful. It goes to show you the selective outrage. Selective outrage. Chris Rock said it. Selective outrage. That's what it is at the end of the day. And the reason he didn't get charged is because he's a British billionaire. That's why he didn't get charged. That's what it is at the end of the day. If he was Russian, if he was Qatari, if he was anything like that, they would have threw the book on his head. That's what they would have done. Absolutely not. But do I have faith in that system? Did I have faith in them? But when the process was going on, absolute to hell I did. You know, and I don't have no faith in this PGMO, FA, Football Association, whatever they call themselves these days. I have no faith in them. None. You know, and it's no surprise. You know, shouldn't even be allowed anywhere near back at Man United, to be honest with you. Absolutely. Revert Sam, the FA bottled it with Rat. They didn't even tell him off with a statement. They just said, all they said is focus on your responsibilities. What is that? That's just like a slap on the wrist, isn't it? It's like a little slap on the wrist. Focus on your responsibility. What annoys me a lot is people who say, what did he say wrong? I think, you know, it's very easy to say things like that when you've not been faced with these kind of things thrown at you your whole life, you know, and it's very easy for people to dismiss what he says. Unless you're Samuel Jackson in Chango, you know, right? It's very easy to dismiss these things, you know, and I feel like not enough outrage was made. And we know the undertones of it. It's nothing to do with politics. There is an undertone. But having said all that, he should not be talking about that anyway. What we want to hear about is what Man United are going to do, who Man United are going to sign, what happened with Ruben Amorim and this and that. And he hasn't spoken about Ruben Amorim, by the way, since it happened. What's going to happen with Michael Carrick, blah, blah, blah. That's what I want to hear from Jim Ratcliffe. I don't want to hear what he thinks about politics. It doesn't bother me what he thinks about politics because I know what he is. He's a 77-year-old guy who's raised in a certain generation, that he has these backwards views. That's what he is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So I would say that, you know, he should have resigned. He should be forced to resign. And there you go. Leffa, do you think Jason Walcott should be sacked? I think they all should be sacked, mate. All of them, in my opinion. Rajat, do mainstream media not like Vinny? Is defending himself? Don't get it. Everyone's backing Vinny, as far as I'm aware. I'm backing Vinny. Everyone's backing Vinny. Vinny's been through a lot. One thing I would say about Vinny Jr. Is that, you know, Vinny is very, very strong personality. He would always fight, and that's right. He should fight. And I'm glad he did. And I'm happy he does. And to be honest with you, he shouldn't be subjected to these sort of things. And football should not be subjected to this backwards mentality that has been going on. I mean, guys, we are in 2026 and we're talking about these things, you know what I mean? And it just goes to show you where football is, you know? And if we're blasé about one thing, but have a selective outrage and another thing, it just adds weight to it and gives people authority to it. We're living in a generation where it's almost becoming normalized to be discriminatory, you know, because of social media. It's almost becoming normal, especially in Britain. It's becoming normalized, you know what I mean, to say things about certain race or religion and stuff like that. And this is where it's worrying. And this is where it gets dangerous, do you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And, you know, me as a mixed race guy and from a multicultural background, you know, it annoys me. It angers me. You know, it really does. You know, a win is imperative on Monday because we can't let Everton do the double over us, and we need to secure Champions League football. I agree. I just hope that the players won't be too affected by the long layoff. You know what? This is a thing. You know what, LT? You make a good point here because this is the thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, Man United haven't played for 2 weeks." It actually can have the adverse effect when you don't play for a long time. You could be rusty. You know what I mean? You could get rusty. I'm not playing for 2 weeks. You know, it might take time to get back in. Like, you know what I mean? And this 2 week layoff, whatever it was, is ridiculous. It really was. And we're going to have to start the game quickly. Thankfully, Everton haven't had the game in about 10 days either. So that could help us, of course. But we need to start the game quickly. We can't start the game slow because we know that Everton will start the game quickly. Absolutely. But Sal, why do Arsenal use to certain point talk about trust process? It means like PR machine. I don't know about Arsenal, mate. Arsenal are in a good place. They're in top of the league. They're in all the competitions. They're in a good place. And I think they're overreacting a little bit in regards to Arsenal. The biggest problem at Arsenal is exactly what Patrice Evra said, isn't it? The biggest problem at Arsenal is not the manager, it's not the club, it's the fans. They're the biggest problem at Arsenal. They're the ones. The overreaction does affect the team, and they end up having this mental block every single time. You know, Jim Ratcliffe should go prison with Andrew. Yeah, I mean, billionaires. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, do you think? Big up, Brenny. What's going on? Do you think too many interviews by players and managers does more harm than? Yes, because I firmly believe, Brenny, that you should not always be available in regards to media and interviews and things like that. You should not always make yourself available. You should have a prestige. Alex Ferguson used to have a prestige. You should not be doing interviews every single day. You know, when it's the press conference, you have your press conference, you do your press conference, you leave. When it's the post-match press conference, you have your post-match press conference, you leave. The only other interviews you do are pre-match and after the match. You know, and that is it. Once that is over, you shouldn't be spending Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, doing other interviews. You shouldn't be doing it, in my opinion, you know? Absolutely. I agree. Gregory, United is owned by awful people who don't see themselves as stewards or custodians. They are vampires and cruel. I agree with that, Gregory. Spot on. Couldn't say it any better myself. Carrick started doing interviews. You know what I would say about it, Winnie? I heard from a source that they get money to do interviews. And this is, again, feeding into the Jim Ratcliffe Glazeronomic thing. I'm hearing they get money to do these extra bits and bobs in regards to the extra interviews and stuff. I heard they get money to do that. It's disgraceful, isn't it? I mean, it's what happened with Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim conducted too many interviews, you know. And when you do too many interviews, your quotes can always get misinterpreted. You can always say something you might not quite mean, but they might interpret it and make it into something big. And because obviously Ruben Amorim was not, his first language was in English, there were a few times that he did. And, you know, Michael Carrick's going down the same road. I think what Man United should have then said when Matt Amorim left, right, no more interviews. No more interviews, you know? SCB, all the Man United fans want Ratcliffe gone. I'm sad that with the Stoke owners don't care about the money in the club. Big up my guy, FCB. Raja, Jim likes to be controversial, bro, talking nothing, and Jose Mourinho is deflecting instead of helping and calming down Vinny due to his celebration. Yeah, it was disgraceful, my friend, Raja. It was disgraceful. I caught Rance blaming Vinny for being too sensitive, and if it was him, it wouldn't bother him. Well, Rance, you're not Vinny. Well, Rance, as I said, what did I say? Django. If you ever seen Django, watch Django. Watch Samuel L. Jackson in Django. That's Rance. All right, Leonardo DiCaprio and Samuel L. Jackson, and then get me the picture. Absolutely, that's him. There's no tolerance for discrimination or ignorance in life, no matter where you're from. And people trying to justify it just so that they can get in with certain corporate circles is a poor mentality, a weak mentality. And I'm pretty sure ancestors wouldn't be happy with him saying that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I would never say something like that. My goodness me. Mad though that is being said. Why are we still going for Carlos Baleba? Because he's desperate and he's cheap. Not cheap, sorry. He's desperate. He's desperate and he's easy. He's desperate and easy. That's what I would say. 50 likes, 14 likes, guys. Come on, guys. Let's get up to that 50 likes there, so guys, please. If you're good at that, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Paul, good morning. How you doing? I've got to go, opponent. Have a good day, everyone. Big up, Paul. Take it easy. Have a good appointment, my friend. When you want to win, money talks and talking runs a marathon. Yes, indeed. A white person should only dance in front of a white people. A brown person should only dance in front of brown people. A black person should only dance in front of black people. What? That's what God wanted. No, he didn't. Not in my religion, we didn't. Multiculturalism was part of God, what he did, you know, and stuff like that. We should all dance with each other. That's what I would say about that. Absolutely. That's what I say about that. On that note, guys, thank you everyone who joined me today. Have a great day. Enjoy your day. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Absolutely. And Gregory, you're going on the next one. What's all that? Gregory, what you on about, mate? Gregory, what you on about? What you on about? Wisdom and effort. Calculatory at Laboa by wisdom and effort. What's that to do with? When you run, money talks and talking runs. Oh, okay. I'm reading your other comment now. I'll put 2 and 2 together. Okay, mate. Big up, mate. This is not the philosophy channel, Gregory. This is not the philosophy channel. As much as I admire and I respect your, your articulate quotes and stuff like that. Keep it to the topic, my guy. Gregory, please. Thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate you. Guys, have a great day, great evening, great night. And I really appreciate you. I read out everyone's comments, guys, so don't sway me off on and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And stuff. So to keep it to the football side of things is absolutely most important, of course, guys. Guys, I will be back for the watch-alongs today. Of course, I will be back at 2:30 p.m. UK time for the watch-alongs, guys. Join me for that. Well, I'll be analysing the 3 games that are going on at the moment, which has a huge impact on Manchester United as well, by the way. These games have a huge impact on Manchester United. And we're looking for a Leeds win or a Leeds draw. We're looking for a Burnley to do something as well. We're looking for that to happen, of course, guys, as well, guys. And let's not forget Brentford, who are up there, guys, in the Champions League positions as well. So if Brentford win, they're not that far away, so let's not discount Brentford as well, guys. Really appreciate you all. Have a great day. See you later for the watch along, guys. Make sure you be there. Thank you, FM. See you then. Take it easy. Have a good day. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. See you soon. Peace.